I'm going to show you a way to strengthen your weak hand where you will see and feel the difference in 5 minutes. Stay tuned to find out. There are two reasons why we have a weak hand in drumming. Reason number one, Mother Nature. We were all born with one of these two limbs that naturally is somewhat stronger than the other. The second reason, right from the get-go, when we start drumming, what are we doing? We're actually playing this. If you're a right-handed drummer, that is. Now, observe what's going on here. Look at this. What do you observe? My right hand, my strong hand, is actually doing way more work than my left. It's putting in way more mileage than my left. So it stands to reason that right from the get-go, a right-handed drummer is always going to have this right hand that's going to be miles ahead of the left hand, just because of the fact that it does twice, 3 times, 4 times as much work as the left hand. So that's the main reason why we have a weak drumming hand. Once in a while you come across a situation where you have to lead with the left, and because this has not had the mileage, you're going to run into some problems. So basically, the solution here is your left hand, weak hand, has to somehow catch up with your right hand in terms of motion, the mileage. Okay, it has to catch up. So the magic question is, how do we do this? How do we play catch up with the left hand? Now, before we get into that, I just want to welcome all those that are here for the first time. Thanks for popping by. If you're interested in improving your drumming, click that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll always be up to speed with my latest videos. So the question, once again, how do we achieve this? How do we play catch up? Well, let's go back to when we started playing the drums. Remember what happened? We were doing this all the time, right? Right off the gate, our right hand was in the lead by miles. Well, stands to reason, let's do the opposite. Let's spend some time playing drum beats where instead of doing this, you're doing this. Now, I'm not saying you have to master that. All I'm saying is just do that. And I promise you, I guarantee you, that after 5 minutes of doing this, you're going to feel the difference. The strength, it's unbelievable. When you go back to your regular drumming, that left hand is just going to seem like it's so powerful and stronger, more balanced, just by doing that for 5 minutes. It's incredible how this actually works. So using drum beats to build your weak hand, I actually have 4 approaches that we're going to briefly go through right now. So the first approach is where we're going to play drum beats that have a 4-to-1 ratio of left hand to right. Now, I don't want to get all mathematical on you. So basically, we're going to pick drum beats where the left hand is moving 4 times as much as the right. Once again, remember, we're playing catch up. So there's 2 types of drum beats that will allow you to do that. So the first type is good old-fashioned 8th note drum beats where you're playing this. Remember this, don't aim for absolute perfection of lining up all the notes right from the get-go. It's not about that, believe it or not. It's more about the left hand putting in the mileage. That's what we're trying to achieve as the first priority. Things are going to be sloppy. Your bass drum and snares are not going to line up perfectly. Don't worry about that. That's okay. That's going to eventually fix itself, okay? Just know that you have to just put some mileage in the left hand. Whether it sounds smooth or sloppy, doesn't matter, as long as this thing is putting in the mileage. Now, the other type of beat in the 4-to-1 ratio is playing a shuffle. So when you're playing a shuffle, this hand is still moving 4 times more than this. But with the shuffle, because you have that, your left hand is actually working a little harder. So it's kind of like you're getting a power workout and a mileage workout at the same time. So even when I'm playing them, they're not perfect. I'm feeling very awkward. It's strange, and I'm not going to edit any of this because that's not the point. I want to show the human component. I'm struggling with this. It's not easy. However, my left hand is getting some good mileage and it's strengthening. So the second approach now is where we're playing drum beats that have a 6-to-1 ratio. 6-to-1 ratio where the weak hand is playing or moving 6 more times. So there are 3 types of hi-hat patterns that achieve this. The first one is where you're playing 1 E-end, 2 E-end, 3 E-end, 4 E-end, like this. The second one is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Now, if you can't do it at that speed, it's okay. Just work at whatever tempo that you're comfortable with. It can be even as slow as this. Also, if you're having difficulty lining up the bass drum, it's okay. Just do the left hand and the right hand. Now, the third 6-to-1 ratio beat is where you're playing in 12/8. You're doing this. Approach number 3 is now where we're doing drum beats that have a 8-to-1 ratio, where the weak hand is moving 8 times more than the strong hand. So there are 2 examples here. So example number 1, where you're playing 16th note grooves. And the other example is where you're playing a halftime shuffle. This is a little tricky, so bear with me on this one. A little tricky. See what it sounds like a little faster. See if I can do it. Okay, so it's still a little rough there, but you get the idea. My left hand right now is feeling really, really good. The fourth thing that you can do after you've done these 3 approaches is pick your favorite drum beat book, whatever that book may be. Take that book, start from page 1, and reverse the roles. Left hand, weak hand is on the hi-hat, backbeat on the snare, and just play what's written on the book and practice those. At least you're practicing something you're familiar with. Now, in my case, my favorite all-time drum book is the Drummer's Cookbook. I deem that to be one of the drum Bibles. It's a book that I think every drummer should have. And if you don't have this book, I would strongly suggest you pick it up. And I'm making it even easier for you. Down in the description below, I have an Amazon link there that you can go into, and it'll go right to the Amazon site, and you'll be able to pick up the book if you want. So here's one of the beats, the first beat of Drummer's Cookbook. I'll play it right-handed first. Now I'm going to play it like this. Now, I think that's really cool. That was a challenge. That wasn't easy for me. You probably heard some of the discrepancies, but that's okay. I'm a student right now, okay? But you can see how powerful this drum book is because, you know, it's not just a backbeat. And then if you really want to get advanced, you can try playing these drum beats with all those other hi-hat patterns I've showed you, you know, where you're playing 16th notes. Okay, you're playing this or this. Very, very cool. So when you get into books like the Drummer's Cookbook, you start to develop this ability to play this way and free up your right hand, and you might find a place somewhere in a song or in a show, a concert or something. You might find a place for it, which is pretty cool. So after doing this, my left hand's feeling pretty good. So let's see now when I go back to my regular drumming. Let's see what a difference it really is. Wow, what a difference. My left hand is now starting to feel really good, all because of increasing the mileage. That's all we're doing, folks, and you achieve that with drum beats. So we're almost ready here to wrap up. I just want to conclude by mentioning the 3 benefits of this approach to building your weak hand. You know, the first benefit, pretty obvious, when you go to play your regular drumming, your left hand is just going to feel amazing. It's going to feel powerful. You're going to feel balanced. It improves your right-handed drumming, so to speak. The second benefit to this is, you know, when you work on those hand patterns or your rudiments or, you know, patterns from stick control, and you come across those scenarios where you have to lead with your left hand and it always sucks every time you have to do that. Well, guess what? After applying this approach, your left hand won't have a problem doing that. So you'll be able to benefit from all those amazing hand patterns out there that, you know, start with the left hand. The third benefit is what I just showed you, where because you're splitting up your hands now, your right hand is free to roam around and do things and be very creative, and you can improvise, and it just opens up a whole new world in that area. Click like if you like this video. If you have a question or a comment, go ahead and do so. Leave it in the comment section. Share this with all of your drummer friends. when you do one of those three or all three, you're helping this video reach all of those drummers who are looking for this information. You know, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Of course, I would appreciate that as well. I'd like to conclude by saying, stay well, stay safe, practice that left hand, and most of all, just have a blast. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.